We have the stories of 129 survivors, which I call 129 miracles, because each one is a miracle to have been alive, where so many of their other family members had died. We have a recipe that was their family recipe. I did nothing to change it, whether it was given with exact ingredients or just a little this or a little that. But each one is their family's recipe, and then wartime pictures and pictures of them today, because through all of that loss, today what they teach their families is to their love of their family, the sharing and celebrations of their Shabbos, of their beautiful holidays, and it's always within food that they share and they remember. And we have pictures of them today as their tables are getting full again, and that's the beauty of this book, that they truly were survivors.
Food is associated with happiness, rejoicing, togetherness, and you're connecting with this book the tragedy, the Holocaust, with food. How can that be done?
Well, it's been done because what helped so many survive, they were all starving, and the common thread they had was the wonderful times that they could remember with their families, and that always was having food and their families together. And that they had been able to even keep themselves alive by creating those dream meals in their minds, and we honor them by remembering, because had they perished, those recipes might have been gone forever. Some are recipes that when they were in Auschwitz, a mother and a daughter created her recipes in her mind. They would pretend to be doing the whole meal, and that's the recipe she gave us. And others were children that said, I honor my mother today. I was so young when my mother was taken. I don't remember her face. But when I make chicken soup, and I know you don't need a chicken soup recipe, I don't, but when I make chicken soup, that I feel like my mother is in the kitchen with us, and we honor her with her chicken soup recipe in this cookbook.
So is this more a book of education, of ideals, or is this also a practical book that can be put next to all the other cookbooks in the house?
I would say one woman put it beautifully. She said, all of my other cookbooks have food stains. This has teardrops on my book. And it is a book that you should read, and my suggestion is make the recipe, share that with your family and everyone at the table, read the story, and show the pictures that go with it, so that for generations to come, we will always remember those survivors.
Now today you're here in the Karmea maybe it shouldn't be called a soup kitchen, rather a restaurant, and you're donating $100,000 to this important institute. Tell us about that, please.
I would say it's a restaurant. It is, and that's when I walked in here, my life changed forever. My son and my daughter-in-law were volunteering here, and they said, I want you to see this soup kitchen. So when I sat down, he said, this is a soup kitchen. I said, no. He said, this is why I brought you here, because everyone sits down and eats at a restaurant, and they're treated with such dignity, and that dignity carries on into their life. And I said, well, why should we eat here? He said, we eat together with them, and what we do is we leave tzedakah at the door, and no one knows who paid and who didn't pay, and we do that in honor of all of those. Just from selling this beautiful book, where people today do not have the extra money to just take it out of their pockets and for a donation, they're buying this book, and through this book we have given today $100,000 to the soup kitchen and over $400,000 to Jewish groups who have used this book as their fundraiser, which brings this book to give back over $500,000, and it has been incredible in just a little over 2 years. I hope that you'll buy one, the Holocaust Survivor Cookbook.